Even though it is still pretty hot outside on most days here in Texas, it is officially sweater weather in other parts of the world. So that has been my main focus when I go out sourcing. I've been hitting the sweater section, of course, the pants. And when it comes to shoes, boots is the first section I go to. Even though I haven't been finding much because they're pricing everything up like crazy this year, there are a few things that kind of slip through the cracks that they don't price up that I have been able to get. It's actually 2 hauls that I have here. One of them I've already processed, everything's already listed. The other one I just got a few days ago, and all the prices are still attached on all of those items, so I can tell you how much I paid for them. But for this first haul, I'll have to just do it off memory if I can remember. On the screen I will be putting up how much I listed the stuff for, and if it has already sold, you'll be able to see that too. Let's get started with this first haul. Oh, we're starting off with some real good ones. These are some Purple Label Ralph Lauren white pants. If you don't know, this is, or at least I think so, I hope I'm not wrong, this is one of the most expensive Ralph Lauren labels, the purple tag. So I was really excited when I saw these. They were half off that day. This first time I'm showing you, only certain tags were half off, but this happened to be one of the half off tags, which was amazing. They were only like $6 new with tags. White pants is not the best style to find in this purple tag label, but I'm still happy that I found it anyway. I looked them over the best I could while I was at the store to make sure there was no spots anywhere, because that happens with whites. You don't catch it at the store, and then when you get home, that's when you find it. And sure enough, I did, but it's only a tiny little mark. I don't even know if the camera will pick it up. It's a little spot right above the faux pocket. No, it's an actual pocket right above the pocket. The sell-through rate wasn't amazing on these pants, but because I'm going to be able to get a lot of money for them, I decided to just go for it. That's kind of been my strategy when it comes to items that I can get for top dollar. Like if I can get $80, $90, or $100 for something, I don't care if the sell-through rate is about a 15%. As long as it's about that much. Now if it's 1%, 2%, then I'll probably still leave it behind, even if it's going to sell for a lot. But if it at least hits that 15, I'm going to be able to flip it for very high. I go ahead and get it. Here's this Free People sweater. It is an oversized sweater because the tag says extra small, but it looks a lot bigger than that. I tried shaving it down with the sweater shaver as much as I could, but there is still like, not necessarily fraying, but it's not all the way smooth. I wonder if the material tag has something to do with it. No, sadly this doesn't have any wool or anything like that, but Free People chunky knit sweaters have been doing really good for me. That's why I decided to get this one. They've been selling a lot on Depop specifically. Here's some more Ralph Lauren. This is like a lower end brand of Ralph Lauren. It's called Lauren by Ralph Lauren. When I put the title for this, I just put just Ralph Lauren once, not twice. That just takes up too many characters. What I do is just put LRL and then Ralph Lauren. That way I have more space to add more keywords. This is a pretty blue color sweater, ribbed, knit. It is linen and cashmere blend. That's one of the main reasons I decided to go for it. It is also an extra large, which helps. This was a mistake. These are Prana pants. When I looked up the sell-through rate on these, it was pretty good, like in the 40s or 50s with the eBay research tool. And even though they were only going to sell for like $22 or so, I think, I decided to still get them because they are a larger size, a size 14, and they were half off that day, so I only paid like $2.50. But then when I got home, I realized that one of the buttons is missing. It's supposed to have 2 buttons here and it only has 1. If I would have noticed that at the store, I would have left them behind. I am still trying to get used to checking condition on clothing items very thoroughly. When it comes down to shoes, I kind of know what to look for, what places to look for to make sure everything is how it's supposed to be. But when it comes to clothing, I'm still kind of getting used to it. So I'm going to try to remember that from now on. Check all the buttons and all of the zippers. It should be common sense, but because I'm starting clothing all over again, it's going to take some time for me to get used to remembering to check all of those things, because as you'll see later, I think it's in this exact haul, there is another pair of pants with a missing button. This next pair of pants is actually an experiment for me. It is by Ebb and Flow, which is a cheap brand, but I wanted to see if I could get these to sell based on style. They have a flare leg and it is scalloped at the end. These kind of flare leg yoga style pants have been doing really good in Free People brand. Also some Athleta wide leg pants that are more yoga style have been selling well for me. That's why I wanted to give these a try. Hopefully I can get it to work, but as I mentioned in some other thrift haul, I'm sure I am starting to experiment a little bit sourcing based on style. I know I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. I wanted to do strictly sell-through rate, and I am still for the most part, but I'm allowing myself to slowly experiment with style just because I'm struggling to find enough good inventory to up my listings from 5 to at least 7. I'm struggling with that. I'm still at about 5. I'm trying to increase it to 6, and then once I get there, I'll increase it to 7. So I am starting to source a tiny bit based on style, but I'm taking it very slow and trying to do a lot of research so that I don't make the same mistakes that I did previously, and then I ended up with too many unsold items. This next one is the one with the other missing button. Maeve has a missing button here. It is the Colette pant. This I've sold, I want to say like 3 or 4 other times, and I have like 3 other ones listed in my closet right now. This is a very popular style by this brand, Maeve by Anthropologie. This one would have done extra well because it is a linen blend. When they're linen blend, they sell a little bit faster for me. But now with that missing button, who knows? I listed them a little bit cheaper than I would have, but hopefully they still sell. Maybe someone who knows how to do those kind of things quickly, sewing buttons, won't mind. We'll see. This next pair of pants is by American Eagle, which I skip a whole bunch at the store, but there are some styles every once in a while that catch my eye. I check comps and they end up looking okay. This was one of them. In the inside waist, it always says the style. This one is the baggy jogger. They always have it embroidered here. I looked that specific style up, also put in the color brown. These are a smaller size, a size 4, but smaller sizes are selling well on Depop, so I got those. Hopefully they don't sit for too long. This one was another mistake. I could have left this one behind. It is by Savannah Jane. This one caught my attention because I just recall that this was a good selling brand back in the day. So when I saw it, I thought, ooh, that should be nice. And I was in a hurry by the end. My daughter was with me this day. She was over it, ready to go. So I thought, it should do good. I think I'll be okay without checking comps. Once I listed it, I saw that it doesn't do as well as it used to. It should still sell. It should still do okay, but I don't expect it to be a top dollar sale or a fast sale either. Here we have this Tommy Bahama, kind of like an open knit cover up, but I think it could still be worn as a layering piece during the fall. I'm pretty sure this is a good material. Well, it is a linen blend. I was thinking it was 100% linen, but it was a very cheap piece. I don't remember the exact price, but that's why I got it, mostly because of price. Alright, so for this haul, I only found 2 pair of shoes. That just goes to show you that things have really switched up in that department at the stores that I go to. As you know, in the past, I was a strictly shoe reseller because there was so much of it around me. It was my favorite thing to list. I could find enough inventory in 1 week to last me enough for like a week and a half. And put up enough listings, but nowadays they don't have that much stuff, and the good stuff they do have is overpriced, so I'm not finding as much, which is one big reason I had to pivot to going back to selling clothing again. I wish that wasn't the case because honestly I prefer not to list clothing, but we got to do what we got to do, and I'm glad that I at least have that option. Anyway, the first pair of shoes is a very good one. It is called Bluntstone. Here is what it looks like. I can spot them because I see these pull tabs here in the front and the back. I found it twice. The other one is actually in this other bin, and both times that's how I was able to identify them quickly. I've been seeing them on the trending pages on Poshmark, and I think just in different videos. I was watching one all about granola girl, which is an aesthetic for like outdoorsy people, and they suggested that this is footwear that would go with that aesthetic. So that's how I was able to spot them out quickly and know that it was a good style to pick up. But still, I was surprised to see the comps when I actually looked them up on the eBay app. These have like 100% sell-through rate, which is very, very rare to see using that tool that I'm talking about. Which, if you don't know, I do have videos all about it. I can link up on the screen somewhere and in the description if you want to know what tool I use and how I use it to look up these comps, to know exactly how much I'm going to be able to sell these things for and how fast they will sell. I paid, I think, like $8 for these. I expect these to sell for around $70. I've already gotten an offer on Depop this morning. I think I listed those last night. She hasn't paid. I did message her to remind her, so we'll see later. Hopefully she does pay. She offered me the $70 that I want, so hopefully that goes through. If not, I'm sure they're not going to take that long to sell because, as I said, they do have a 100% sell-through rate. The only bad thing about these, though, is that they are a size 5, but not a terrible size, especially in that style that is popular with the younger generation. This next boot, I hope you can see the brand there. It is called AS98. Is that how you say it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. AS98. This is another one that I just saw the brand name and I just automatically knew it was a good one. When I looked them up, I saw that kind of like the purple label pants, the sell-through rate isn't that great. It's probably like at a 16 or 17 when I looked them up, but I could sell these for like 70 or 80 bucks, and I paid I think like $8 or $9 for them. So my strategy there is just to price them a lot lower so that my sell-through rate increases a little bit. So I priced them lower than what comp showed. These are also on the smaller side, which is a little bit of a drawback, but hopefully because I priced them so low, they get to the right buyer quickly. We are about to get into this second part of the haul, but first, let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Legacy Online School. I've talked about them before, but if you don't know, basically, I had a tough time with my daughter a few years ago. Things are a lot better now, but still, public school is not always the best option for her. So she's been going back and forth between public and online school ever since she was in middle school. Programs like LOS make that transition very easy for us, which is why I like to share them just in case one of you guys are looking for a different educational path for your kids for one reason or another. When you get to searching online, you will see that there are so many different online homeschool programs to choose from. I've tried out a few over the years and done a lot of research myself, and after all of that, I can say with confidence that LOS is one that I'd highly recommend. What I like most about this program is that it's so flexible. You can do the courses and take the classes online, live, or your child can do it at their own pace. But there will always be certified teachers available to help and support your kid if they ever need it. That is something that is very important to me because I do help Angie with some of her work, but I can't always be full hands-on because I work and I also have other kids, a toddler that needs a lot of attention. Basketball season's about to get here, and my schedule is not necessarily the most predictable, which is why I like flexible programs. That way she can be able to get her work done no matter what's going on around us, and there's always support there for her if she ever needs it. So if you ever need a different educational path for your kids, whether it's just for a season or something long term, if you're looking for something that can fit into your busy busy schedule, Legacy Online School is definitely worth checking out. They are a fully accredited private online school, so you will receive official transcripts and a real diploma if they graduate. It is for kinder all the way up to 12th grade. They do offer honors classes and AP ones too, and if your child needs IEP support, they have that as well. And on top of all of that, they have optional virtual clubs and lots of different activities that your child can join and partake in to learn new skills and connect with others too. Tuition for this online school starts at $149 a month. They offer discounts depending on which plan you go with, and if you use my code Sandra10, you will receive 10% off a monthly plan. I'll leave all of that information linked in the description. Thank you, Legacy Online School, for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the haul. Okay, let me start this next haul by telling you that I did pay up for a bunch of stuff. This was a non-sales day. I think I said that earlier. Only certain tags were on sale. One was 25% off and the other was 75% off. But when that happens, there's not that much to choose from. So I'm left paying up full price for most of the things. That's why I hardly ever shop on non-sales days, and I just prefer to go when everything is 50% off. Then I have a lot more to choose from. Let's start off with this one right here. I think you say this brand Faraday, maybe the H is silent, but really what drew me to this sweater is just the pattern of it. It is like a fair isle. Also the colors are pretty, the brown with the little pink accents. I paid, let's see, $9 for this sweater. It was not on sale. It is some sort of good blend. It is merino wool blend with organic cotton. This brand seems to do a lot of organic, sustainable type fabrics. It's my first time finding it, but I did find two pieces this day, and when I looked both of them up, they seem to do really well. So hopefully they do for me, and hopefully I find more of it if they do. This is one that was 75% off. The pink was 75. It is a J. Jill, which you can't see because I have it stapled there, but I'm sure you know what that looks like. It is extra large. I see a lot of J. Jill, but I skip it most of the time because it's just not that unique enough. It doesn't have that many good qualities. Most of their pieces are just simple, and if they're small or medium, I'm definitely skipping those. But this was a larger size. It is what? An extra large. It is longer length, more like a tunic top, and it has fraying at the bottom. I figured I could use keywords like lagging look for this one, rustic, primitive. This one I got based on style. I'm going to be using words like cottagecore for this. I love the colors. I also love the look of this. It's like slouchy, baggy, oversized. It has a little bit of cable knit going on, some pretty buttons. I am going to have to stain treat it right here. It has just a tiny spot, which I could post it that way, but it's so simple to just mix up some baking soda with Dawn dish soap and scrub it a little bit, and hopefully it gets right off so I don't have to lower the value of it. If it was something that took a lot longer, I probably wouldn't do it. I'm trying to find the material tag. I don't see it, but I don't think it's anything special. Or does it say it up here? Oh, it does. It is Rami? I don't know how you say that, and I don't even know what that material is. I should probably educate myself on it because I have been seeing it a lot. This sweater was $4.99, and it does have shoulder pads as well. I'm almost certain that that sweater is going to do well on Depop. This one too. This is so pretty. It is a white sweater with little, is it frills right there along the buttons? It also has it here on the collar. It is open knit. This one I think will do good with keywords like coquette. Would it also be cottage? I don't know. I'm still practicing with keywords for clothing. I'm more able to come up with keywords on the spot for shoes, but when it comes to clothing, that's still something I'm still practicing and learning about. But I'm sure there's so many I can use with this one. This one is also that Rami material with cotton, and I paid $4 for this one. Here's another one that I expect to do well on Depop. So pretty with the lace ruffle detail around the neckline. This is more of a cardigan. This was also $4. And this one was made in Hong Kong. It is size small. Newport News. I feel like I've sold shoes by that brand before. It says that on the tag along with Genealogy. A very pretty color, almost like a goldish brown. I've been selling some simple cardigans. I sold one that was full cashmere on Depop not that long ago. So I think that one will do even better with the added accents along the neckline. This I paid up for. I paid 15 bucks, but it is new with tags, and it is this wonderful brand called Lily Pulitzer. I'm comfortable paying up for this brand when it is new with tags because it sells for a lot. I did look it up. I expect this to sell, I think, for like $40, $50 or so. It is a beautiful brown, white, black, flamingo, leaf print, crop kind of style, a terry material. Also, the sell-through rate was really good on that one. If I'm not mistaken, this is a men's piece, and it is by Peter Millar, which some of his stuff can do well, especially in the men's department. I've picked up a few women's things, and they're still sitting, so we'll see how that goes. It is very heavy. It was $9. It is like a merino wool blend. I looked it up, although not too thoroughly. I just put in Peter Millar men's cardigan sweater. I didn't look up the specific style, but this should do well. I don't really go through the men's section, but if it ends up in the women's section and I come across it, I just go ahead and get it. This is this brand again, Maeve, but this is a top, striped top, more oversized because this is a size extra small, but it looks to be on the bigger side. This was $5. It has kind of like a high-low hem, and it is cotton. I was super excited to find this brand, Veronica Beard. This is a very expensive brand. Some of her stuff can sell for a whole lot of money, especially if you get a very substantial piece like a blazer or some nice jeans. But this is more on the simple side. I don't expect it to sell for much, but I thought I had enough unique features to give it a try. It has eyelet details here on the side. It has a kind of a flare sleeve. It is very lightweight. The material is so thin. It is Pima cotton, and there is a flaw in it, which I did catch before I bought it. Here it is. But I'm going to try to stain treat it and see if I could still get it sold. It is a size medium, which is a decent size, and I paid like $3 for this. I took off the tag because I was about to wash it and stain treat it, but I thought for $3 I can make something out of that Veronica Beard piece. This I went against comps. I checked them, they look terrible, but I thought there's no way, I have to be able to make this work. It is by Free People. It is a size extra small, a thermal Henley. It is kind of baby doll style because it has that cutoff point here near the bust. It is long sleeve, very lightweight, a very pretty brown fall-ish color. When I looked it up on Depop, or not on Depop, on eBay, the sell-through rate was so bad. I don't even remember what it was, maybe like 10% or something. Then I looked it up on Poshmark, and it seemed to be selling very slowly there too. But I thought this has to be able to do well on Depop. I paid $4 for it, and we'll see if comps were right or if I'm able to go against them and still make it work. This is a torrid piece. I was excited to pick this one up because it is on the larger side. It is a 5X. Also, it's a very pretty Christmassy color. And it has lace along the neckline. So enough neat things to make it work. And to top it off, it is new with tags. It was $6. Hopefully I can make it work for about $25, but at the very least $20. Oh, this one here I got for me. I'm going to try it out, and if it doesn't fit well, I don't like the fit, then I'll sell it. I paid $7, and it is Express. If I list it, I don't expect it to sell for much because Express normally doesn't. But I love Express clothing for myself, and I really love this deep purple top. Purple is my favorite color. Hopefully it fits well, and that's something I'll be wearing for New Year's maybe. Here's this brand that I showed earlier, Verity. And this is just a lightweight white top with a lot of neat details. Here it has some layering details, the flare hem with a little bit of lace situation, Swiss dots here all on the back, button down all on the front, organic cotton, extra small, and I paid $5 for this top. I'm excited to see how this brand does for me. Hopefully it does good and I'm able to continue to find it. Here we have some more Lily Pulitzer. I don't know if it's washing it out, but whatever. You know what it looks like. And they're just some simple pull-on navy blue chino style pants. These were $4, full price. Not bad at all. I'm going to just put preppy, work, career, those kind of keywords for that one. I had to take a little break because my kids got here from their dentist appointment. There was a lot of chaos out there, but let's finish this up. Next piece here is also a Maeve, also that Colette style. I was going back and forth between it because look at it, so different and weird. I didn't know if it'd be a good idea to get this weird piece or a bad idea. I was looking it up and comps looked iffy, but in the end I just went for it. They were $7. It is a corduroy material. I thought this was a cow print, but what I saw online was people were labeling it as leopard print. They are a larger size, well not even, they are a size 29, wide leg crop style, beautiful stock photos, although I don't know if I'm going to be using them. Lately I haven't been. I do see the stock photos and it is so simple to just download and add them at least to my Poshmark listings, but for the most part I'm just like, let's get the listing up without it, and they've been doing well so far without it, so I just skipped that part. But here is this next one. It is Wilfred. I talked about this in my most recent reseller income report. Aritzia brands, Wilfred, Babaton, and TNA. When it comes to pants by them, they typically do well for me, especially if it's this kind of style, like a wide leg, pleated style, dressy, preppy pants. I use the words heritage to get more attention on these. These were $5, and normally they don't sell for that much, even though Aritzia brands are expensive and popular. Normally for pants, I can usually get like $25 or so. Here we have this old school brand called Hudson Jeans. I love picking them up when they have a flat pocket like this, although most of the ones I've been picking up are just regular boot cut, and these caught my attention because they are super flare. They have the style name inside, which is super helpful because it's so easy to look up comps underneath this tag. It says the Ferris Flat Flare. They were $9, but the sell-through rate was very good. I expect these to sell for about $28 if I remember correctly, and pretty fast according to those comps. And the super flare style in pants and in jeans is doing really well. I've been selling them in Free People, also Judy Blue, so I think that old school style of Hudson jeans with them being flare should do really good. Here's another Veronica Beard piece. This one isn't the best either, just like the shirt, to find in this brand, but it's not horrible. I paid $7 for these dark green pants. They are jogger style. They have button accents along the pant leg, and they are a little bit more on the crop side. These here are a size 10, and I am going to have to price them a little bit on the lower end to get them moving quickly, but I should be able to get a good price on them and make a decent profit since they weren't priced up that much, even though that is a full price at the thrift store. Those weren't on sale. These here were $3.99, which I was so surprised because normally these stores like to price up this brand a whole bunch. It is Athleta. I picked these up because they have the flap or fold over here at the waist, and yoga pants that are like that do really well. I can't get it to cooperate, but it folds over at the top. I sold this exact style, at least I think it's the exact style because it looks the same, but I didn't look up the style number to see if they match. But it is wide leg, pull-on style, very relaxed fit, stretchy material. This particular Athleta piece doesn't sell for that much. You can get maybe like $24 for it, but it's sold pretty quick, so I wanted to give it a try. I was stumped on this. It says Gap and base, right? And I used Google Lens to see if it picked up what this means. Why does it say base at the bottom? And it didn't. So then I asked ChatGPT and it was also confused. I think what I ended up doing was taking a Google Lens photo of the whole pants, and then it told me that it was a collab with Gap and Base. I've never heard of that brand, so we'll see how these do. But these were also a pink tag, so they were 75% off. So that makes it like what, $1.50 or something. Super baggy, wide leg. I guess you'd call this a parachute style pant. They are a size 16. That makes me nervous sometimes because I feel like this style of pants does well with the younger generation that wears the lower sizes. When it comes to larger sizes and just older people, I don't think they wear this kind of stuff, but I don't know. We'll see how this one does. It has an adjustable waist, many pockets, even open cargo pockets here on the side. These are kind of like those black flare pull-on pants I showed earlier that I said I picked up based on style. These I also picked up based on style, and they're also super flare. They are what, like a velvet velour type material. They have this pin tuck, I think that's what you call this little line here on the side. I did not look it up. Maybe I should have, but I don't think this brand is anything. Again, this and the black pants, I picked them up mostly just to see if I can sell this style of pant just based on style and not brand. But I'm going to wait to see how these and the black ones do before I pick up any more trying to sell on style. These were a little bit expensive too. They were $7. I initially left them behind and thought, no, that's way too expensive for an experiment. But I just could not let it go, especially because of the material and the color. It is very beautiful. So we'll see if that risk pays off or not. Yet again, here we have some Maeve Colette pants. These are different than all of the other ones I've picked up though, because they're actually denim. They're black denim. They're not the dressy pant style material. These were $6 and they are a 31 tall. I think that tall usually makes a difference, at least from the pieces I've sold that have a T and I put tall in the title. They seem to sell a little bit faster. They are in great condition, and these only have one large button instead of two like others. Now we're going to get into the shoe part of this haul. Here we have these Blundstone boots. The other ones I showed were women, and these are men. They are called the Rustic Brown, which is why they look distressed. When I was at the store, I did not notice these paint splatters, but they look like you can take them off. It almost looks like gel paint of some sort. You can scrape it off even just by doing this. So I think I'll be able to get these cleaned up very nice and get them listed. I did pay up for these. They were $20, which makes me really sad because if it was half off day, I would have only paid $10. But if I live my life that way, waiting for things to go on sale, I won't have enough inventory to list. And when I checked comps, those $20 were going to be well worth it. I expect these to sell for about $85 on the lower end, closer to $100 on the higher end, and the sell-through rate, just like those other women's boots, is outrageous. It's like at 100. These also had an amazing sell-through rate. They are also men's lace-up style. It is real fur from lamb, and it is all on the inside, like a moccasin style boot. These kind of boots do really well for me in the Minnetonka brand for women. Like I said, comps looked great, so I was okay with paying $13 for those. I think I should be able to flip them for about $40 or $45. Here's this comfort shoe brand called Clark's. These don't have the price. It must have fell off, but I think they may have been like $5 or $6. And of course, for this style of shoes, I will use keywords geared toward office work style. So like preppy, minimalist maybe, business, those kind of words. Same thing with these. Those are the kind of words I will use to market these. They are some Mary Jane patent leather. They are by this brand called Dansko, which has a lot of things at the store that do terrible and a lot that do great. You just really gotta look up each style to see if it's going to sell fast and for good money. These seem to be doing okay, and they were only priced at $5. The only thing that concerned me was the insole because it is a replacement. This isn't the original insole, but hopefully that doesn't mess with the sell-through rate that much. Okay, these I didn't look up. I just picked up based on style, so hopefully it works out like I think it will. It is Rockport. I can't get it to show, but yeah, Rockport. I pick up this brand a lot in their more modern styles, but I wanted to give them a shot because of the style. Just the Oxford classic dark brown, almost reddish brown, luxo, preppy. Lots of good keywords I could use for that. Here's some more vintage style shoes, and these are by the brand J. Crew. This is a dark green canvas material, and this right here is called a monk strap. Those are the words I used to look these up on Poshmark, and they seem to do really well. They sold for like $75 for other sellers, but a little bit on the slower end, so I'm not going to price mine up. I want them to move quicker. I don't want to wait for a sale just to get $10 extra, but I have to wait 2 extra months. I'd rather sell them now and sell them at a lower cost. These were $10, and hopefully I can get at least 40 to 50. And I think these are our only sandals. They are fit flop. I like to pick these up if they have them priced really cheap at this time of year. These were $6. If it was half off, I would have paid only $3, which would have been better, but I decided to just go ahead and get them because they are in great condition. It is a unique style with the embroidery and the quilted style straps here, and I think I'll be able to flip these for at least $25, which is great for this time of year. And that concludes this haul. I really hope y'all found all of my rambling helpful. I really try to come on here and explain things, why I picked them up, keywords I intend to use, how these things have performed for me in the past. I feel like we're getting somewhere with this whole redoing of the reselling business and me sourcing clothing now as well. Stay tuned for my reseller income report, which should be right after this video. In those videos, I share what sells for the most money and what shares the fastest, as well as lessons learned. Make sure you're subscribed so you're notified when that video goes live. And in the comments down below, let me know what are some of your favorite brands to sell this time of year. What's been doing well for you lately? Let's talk about it down in the comments. And that's all for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.